Hey guys, it's Friday, so this is Fitness with Frankie on Friday. I actually was just out at my favorite park on my trail. I tried to start the video out there, but there was too much road noise and people were walking the trail today, which is wonderful. I'm so happy, but I couldn't do my video out there, so I ended up back at home. All right, now here is what we're talking about today. Balance. Now, balance is something that, in my opinion, we all should be practicing a little bit every single day because it's something that most of us do every single day without even realizing it. Think about the things in your life. I was just thinking about this as I was walking through. A lot of times I'll have my phone plugged in. There'll be a cord stretched across the room. My husband has to step over the cord. That's a small example. Out on the trail today, there was a huge tree that had fallen across the trail. So yeah, I could have sat on the tree and swung my legs around, but instead I stepped over the tree one foot, I stepped over the tree with the other foot. Or let's say you're reaching up you have to reach over something to grab out of the cabinet, or maybe to open up your blinds, or you turn around all of a sudden and your dog is lying right there and you've got to all of a sudden step over your dog. If you ride your bike, if you go up and down stairs without holding the handrails, all of those things require balance. So we use it every day. The problem is that we don't really think about practicing it until we get older. And the other day, I Googled the CDC guidelines for balance. It does not appear until you are classified as an older adult. All of a sudden, the CDC guidelines, when you become an older adult, include working balance into your workouts or putting balance into your workouts. My question is, why wait until you're an older adult? Start now, no matter what age you are. Do a little bit every single day, and then you don't have to worry about when you become an older adult how good or bad your balance is because you've been practicing it all along. Okay, so let's get to the main thing here. So as you can see, I am barefoot. I am on a tile floor. What I'm going to show you are 4 exercises. These are the most basic balance exercises that pretty much that you can do. But the key is to be able to do the first one exactly the way I ask you to do it, and for as long as I ask you to do it before you move on to the second one. When you can do the second one, then you move on to the third, that type of thing. So what you might find out is if you start this and maybe you feel like your balance is really good, you might can make it all the way to the third one or even the fourth one before you start to have any problems, and that's wonderful. Then you'll just start at the fourth one, but you start at the first, work your way through and see kind of where you are, okay? So, being barefoot I think is extremely important because I feel like your feet need to feel the floor. So our center of mass is roughly around our belly button area. And when I am standing with bare feet, I can tell whether or not my center of mass is shifted onto one side or the other, which we tend to do throughout the day. You know, we stand with a stance like this. I've got more weight on one side of the body than the other. So when your feet are in contact with the floor, you can feel that a lot better than when you have shoes on. Shoes are wonderful. They provide great stability and protection for our feet, but they take out some of the work that we need to do when we balance. So take your shoes off, take your socks off, flat floor. So hard, flat surface is going to be easier to balance on than if I were to step onto the carpet or a rug. So that's one thing for you to remember. If you can make it through all 4 of these on the flat, hard floor, start over with number 1 and move it to carpet or like a rug or something, or outside on the grass, and then you'll find that makes it hard again. Okay, so first one, my feet are about hip width apart. And what I want to do when I'm here is I want to feel again like my center of mass is even over my 2 feet, so not more on one side or the other. And I'm just going to stand here. This should feel comfortable for most people, okay? Once you can do this for 30 seconds, and you can set your timer, you can count out loud, whatever you want to do. But once you can do this for 30 seconds, then you'll stay just like this, and you will close your eyes and do the same thing for 30 more seconds. Now, as soon as we close our eyes, things start to change. Now, on this first one, you might not feel too much of a difference, but as you go through them, you'll see what I mean here. Because we use our eyes to help us with the balance. And when we're in class, when I'm teaching a class and I'm talking to people, maybe we're doing a balance exercise, I tell them to find their focal point, something out in front that you can stare at that helps you maintain your balance. Because if you're looking all around, it's going to be a lot harder. But also, if you find your focal point when your eyes are open, once you close your eyes, you can continue to imagine that focal point out there. And that helps a little bit when your eyes are closed. Okay, so that's going to be the first one for you. Eyes open, hip width apart, eyes closed, 30 seconds. Then we are going to take one foot and we're going to bring it in. So all of a sudden my base of support is much smaller here, okay? So my feet are closer together, 30 seconds here with my eyes open, 30 seconds with my eyes closed. Now the other thing I want to mention is when you're doing balance, you're standing tall, your abdominals are pulled in nice and tight, you're kind of braced through your core, and your knees are soft. So don't lock your knees out, keep them soft just a little bit there, okay? Then, the third one, we're going to take a foot forward, almost like we're just taking a step. Here, I need to swipe this alert off. Sorry about that. So you're going to have one foot forward, just like you're about to take a step. Now here, you want to make sure your center of mass is in the middle, because you could be more on the front foot or more on the back foot, okay? So what I like to tell people to do is come forward on the front, come forward on the back, and then sort of center it through the heel of the front foot and the front part of the back foot, if that makes sense. So just feel like you're evenly distributed, okay? So you're going to stand just like this for 30 seconds. Then you're going to close your eyes for 30 seconds. Now, this is where things start to feel different when you close your eyes. You may start to feel like you're moving a little bit, like your ankles are all of a sudden, the little muscles in your feet are working harder. But this is where having those feet on the floor, you're going to be able to kind of dig in with your toes and kind of feel what's going on there, okay? So usually around this third exercise is where people really start to feel it with their eyes closed. Then you've got to do the other side. So you're going to take the other foot forward, just step it ahead, just like one step ahead. Get yourself centered again. Make sure your center of mass is distributed evenly. Abdominals tucked in, knees are soft. 30 seconds like this, 30 seconds with your eyes closed. Then the fourth one, this is the hardest one, okay, is a tandem stance. So all a tandem stance is when the heel of the front foot is right next to the toes of the back foot. So this is like when you are doing your sobriety, well, I hope you're not doing your sobriety test, but it's what they ask people to do. You're walking on the line. Now, honestly, it's funny to me that that's part of the test, because this is hard for most people to do that are completely sober. So it's a good idea to practice this. Hopefully you don't get pulled over for DUI, but anyway, good idea to practice this. So this is a tandem stance, heel to toe right here. Now just me standing like this, I feel my little foot muscles and all through my ankles and everything, they're moving just ever so slightly, which is helping me to balance here, but this is not an easy thing to do. So you're going to get, again, your center of mass. So it's easy to lean back and have your center of mass on the back foot here. Go forward, go backward, center it right through the middle. Stand nice and tall. Pull your abdominals in, knees are soft. So you're going to stand like this for 30 seconds, okay? And it may not feel stable at all. You may feel wobbly, but that's okay because you're working on it. And then when you close your eyes for this one, I can guarantee you are going to either have to step off and maybe fall out of it, or you are really, if your balance is really good, you may still be able to do it, but you are really going to feel like you're moving a lot. This is a much harder one to do. So then when you do this, you've got to take the other foot in front, heel to toe with the other foot. Do exactly the same thing. Center yourself, abdominals in, knees soft, chest is lifted. 30 seconds like this, 30 seconds with the eyes closed. Okay? So those are your 4 exercises that you are going to progress through. And it only takes a little bit of time every single day. I mean, some people, I'll say, when you're brushing your teeth, stand on one foot. When you're standing in front of the stove waiting on the water to boil, stand on one foot. When you're in the grocery line, stand on one foot. And that's great, but if you can't stand on one foot to start off with, you have to have something a little bit easier to do. So this is kind of where you will start. So maybe instead of on one foot, if that's too hard for you, start with your staggered stance, or if you're past that point, go to your tandem stance. All right, so those are your balance exercises for today. I hope you will try those out. Work on it just a little bit every single day. I'll be back at some point with a little bit harder balance exercises to do, but I encourage you to try those. Let me know what you think. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me. I will see you next